could do whatever we want. This
Yeah, I
is
know.
our time.
Yeah, that was kind of what we were
All right. Well,
talking.
we're live here. We're
I
live.
gotta close the door because my lovely wife doesn't need to hear everything.
No. What do you mean? I thought isn't she like
Sitting here listening.
yeah, she's like the number one proponent now. Come on, Trump's the best. Okay. Well, this is episode 11, week 3 of the war. So, what is your analysis? It was first week was the US is just gonna roll over or roll through US and Israel.
No, I didn't say that. I said they have the ability to destroy. And of course, that takes the kind of force that I don't think we should be using. But go ahead.
No, because then last week I asked you again, but I mean, it's all recorded. So your sentiment last week was also that we are the ones essentially dictating this war. And I want to know how you feel now.
Well, as I said before, there are ways to destroy countries, which I don't think we should be doing. I think that we've taken out a lot of their ability, but I think they still have a lot left. I think that they used some good tactics with utilizing their inexpensive drones, and we're using $1 million.
You've done your research, huh?
Well, I think we talked about that last week too.
But you probably researched more into it.
Well, I'm always looking as things evolve to learn as much as I can. That's what's made you such a wonderful person, because you take your father.
That's right. But I'm glad that you are digging into it. Let's see. So you saw the whole interview with Trump and talking about Iran and their position and all that, right?
No, I didn't see his.
You didn't?
No.
Let's see.
I've been watching the professor that I sent to you.
And yeah, he's great. He's great. Right. So we'll watch a little bit of his, but here's
the thing, and you saw the video that I sent you that Volcano did.
Yeah, just real quick, let's just watch this. So I don't know if you saw this, but seems like Trump I can't hear that. And then I want to go into Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent, if you've looked into any of that, but
no, I didn't.
I know what you're going to do it, and people are going to raise the price of oil, and that's good. But I know that. But that's a very small thing compared to allowing them to have. You want to see a stock market go down? Start letting them hit you with nukes. Okay. I think I said it this morning. I think it's a very small price to pay. And frankly, I thought it was going to go down much more, if you want to know the truth. I assumed that it was going to go down much more, only because people don't understand to a large, it's a big chess game at a very high level. It's a very high level chess, the highest. And I'm dealing with very smart players. These are smart people. They don't get there. When you deal with some of these people, you're dealing with high level intellect, very high IQ people.
Good evening. From where I'm standing right now, I can see.
So, I mean, I think he's starting to see the writing on the wall. I think he got bad intel, or he just made a decision after being pumped up by what we did in Venezuela, thinking that we were going to be able to go in there. And I mean, Iran's just been waiting for it. And I don't know if you know this, but Israel took out a couple more of the Iranian leaders today.
And as I said before, to me, that's irrelevant. That's why when we first started talking about this, I don't see a regime change. I've said that right from the beginning.
Yeah, this is more about the military leaders, but I mean, the reason why it's not going to work is because they're a decentralized force, which means
Right.
they have all their factions all over and they have the plan and these guys are just executing. So it's so it's like you could go try to chop. There's no head to chop off, right?
No, I don't disagree with that. As a matter of fact, on one of our previous episodes, I was saying how a friend of mine that's from Iran says, look, every street corner, there's one or two people that are within the current regime. Yeah, that are there. Anybody that speaks out or does anything.
No, you're talking about something completely different. I'm talking about, all their different armed forces and they have all these different groups and they have a plan that's already laid out that, hey, if we have a threat that we think is going to wipe our civilization and we're not going to have a country anymore, boom, this is the plan. And so I don't know if you saw the interview with Trump where he said, who would have thought they would have been going after we had all of our missiles and everything and our bases surrounding them. And who would have thought that they would have gone after those? Did you see that?
No.
Oh man. I'm just like, I got to show you this, but it's like, to me, it's baffling.
Well, because part of Iran's plan, from what I'm saying, was utilize these low-cost drones that are not going to do any big damage to deplete the defenses that are in place, that are, as I said the other day, those ships that are firing the missiles to down these things, they're a couple $1 million each, and the ship has maybe 100 of those. Then they got to go back to port to get new ones.
That's the thing that I think many people underestimated, is that a lot of people think just force wins. And just like anything else in the world, big force doesn't, I look at it as like in business, you have these huge companies that get a bunch of investment and they have all this money pouring in, which is like us, right? We have unlimited budget and everybody's fat and happy. And all these defense contractors are just making tons of money, but they're not calculated. They're not efficient. They don't have plans. They're just lining pockets, making money. And we're the freaking big badasses. And at the end of the day, when somebody outsmarts you, is more efficient, you're like, you have no chance, right? And that's what Iran is. Listen, I think, and I'm making a prediction, I think bad shit is coming big time. I'm scared for the sleeper cells in the US, right? Which is like Tampa's one of them. I think that this is going to be, this compared to like Afghanistan or compared to Vietnam or Iraq, this is 100 times worse. And I don't think people realize what's going on in the US. They have no clue what's about to go down.
Well, the thing that I'm most concerned with, Israel thinking they have to resort to tactical nuclear weapons.
I mean, it's going to be us and Israel, but I posted
I would hope not, because I think that changes the whole world.
Listen,
I can't. I mean,
I posted, hopefully Trump, is better than this, because it's probably the worst leader because he doesn't want to take a loss. We've already talked about this in anything, right? So when your back's up against the wall, it's my fear that he would rather decimate an entire country, right? By dropping, let's just say, 400 nukes on all their biggest cities to win. Like they're done.
You wouldn't even need to do 400. That's the scary thing.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how large a nuke actually takes, like how much landmass it covers, but yeah, at the end of the day.
Well, like the ones that were dropped on Hiroshima that killed hundreds of thousands of people in a 30-mile radius, those bombs are nothing compared to the size that are in the world that Russia has, China has, we have, Israel has, Pakistan has. It can't come to that. If it does, we're all in big trouble.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. And it's what is this? What is really being fought? Why is this? And the scary thing is, this happened, what, 3 days, a week, whatever it was, after the second release of the Epstein Files. Like that's just, and there's a lot of things in those files. And we can watch some videos, the stuff that you brought up. This Professor Jang or whatever, who he's one of my favorite people. Yeah, he's amazing.
I know you're glad that I turned you on to him.
Oh, 100%. It's the best thing you sent to me in the past 20 years of my life, to be honest. Conspiracy theorist.
The one that you sent today or yesterday, whenever.
Yeah, you watched it?
Yeah. I think
you have less wrinkles on your freaking forehead than I do. What are you using? Like, it's ridiculous. Jesus. So using peptides, you're doing Botox.
It's just that Sicilian skin, which you have too. I don't understand. I'm not out in the sun as much as you. I don't like the sun. So anyway, the one thing when he talks about the key, the empire, and he talks about it being the United States. I believe the United Kingdom or Great Britain is the empire. They were the original empire. They're the ones that controlled everything. And we are doing their bidding. That's what I think. Because a lot of this
here's the thing.
Around the international banks, all of that world, trying to create this one world order. That's what this is all about.
I love it. Just because back in the day, 15 years ago.
I've always said it's economics. And
but the whole back in the day with me with the sovereign citizen stuff, and I went down that rabbit hole for a couple of years. That got me on the libertarian path, and everybody and the entire family thought I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but
not for the libertarian stuff.
No, just for the for the Rothschilds. Yeah, like
look, I'm
not going to argue about this shit. I just remember what it was. So, but yeah, we'll watch some of those videos. And then I have some videos here that I was watching on X here. Let's see if I could do this.
So while you're getting that up, I think Trump is looking for a way to get out of this.
Hopefully he is.
He's got to be.
He's way up. He's over his years. He didn't realize. Listen, like the other day, okay, when I showed the video last week, when he was acting like it was a game, sinking their ships. Why don't we, is there a reason why we don't just capture the ships and
that's stupid. That's stupid what he says. So it's more fun to sink them.
It's not stupid. It's not stupid. It is disgusting. It's the most disgusting thing. You're talking about killing people, right? It's disgusting. The guy from Iran, that's always on.
Yes.
This guy is a stand-up, no bullshit. honorable man. These guys are willing to die. They know that they're probably going to die, and they're happy to do it because of their morals and their beliefs. And I'm not talking about death to America. No, protecting what they know is right, which is we were attacked, we are getting attacked, and we're going to fight for our freedom, right?
Anthony, I don't disagree with that, but there are a lot of things that the regime does that are not good for the people. You know, I know you say, well, you know, but look, women.
At the end of the day, I hear what you're saying. It's not our job to tell them how to live their lives. That's it. I don't care. Listen,
I've said that for a long time.
Okay, so your point is a moot point. At the end of the day, it would be horrible if there was a country that raped children all the time, right? And if your morals are straight, it should be, it's not our job to go over there and fix that country, even how bad it is. Okay,
Anthony, I am not necessarily opposed to that position, and
but then don't bring up.
Well, I'm just trying to give you what other people will say.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but it's a justification.
We can just agree on everything, as I said before. And then I'm trying to be a little bit of the devil's advocate here to make you have to espouse your position and tell it more and clarify it more for us and for yourself.
Thank you.
Because look, I have been saying for many years, and I told you this before about atomic bombs, what I've said for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, so
the whole thing, going back to what you're saying about Great Britain, and I will listen to that lady, which their stuff is pretty good. I like hearing that side along with everything else. This isn't about a country. It just isn't. It's not about any country. And I think that the professor actually does a great job explaining it, right? It's about using certain countries for certain strategic things, for control,
for resources, for manufacturing,
for military, for banking. So
I think that one was really good. The only thing I disagree with is he's saying the empire is the United States. I think it's coming from Europe and primarily Great Britain, and we have been there front.
I mean, we'll listen to it. He didn't really say that. He did. The U.S. was the military might.
Right, but he calls it the empire.
Right, because we are the empire. Yes, we are.
Yes, because we're the strong one.
That's it.
Britain is not. But my point is, it's all going back to controlling resources, money, who you lend money to, who you don't lend money to. England has a big hand in that. They are using our armies to do their bidding because they don't have that power. They can't project that power.
Right.
We're the ones that project the power that says, if you're not going to play the way we want you to, you're not going to be playing at all. You're locked out.
Do you remember last episode when I was talking about the petrodollar? This is before I started watching, the video on this professor or whatever. And I was like, this is what it's about, upholding the petrodollar. That's all it is. Denominated in US dollars, and now Iran and China are doing it in the yen, right?
But that doesn't even matter because they're blocking the Strait of Hormuz.
No, they just let
that's going to topple the world economy.
Hold on a second. The strait is not blocked. Number one, it's blocked for Iran's enemies. They were shipments.
I told you the other day that they're allowing Chinese chips. They've gone through. I said that on our last one.
Okay, because you just said that it's blocked. So to me, if it's blocked, it means nobody can get through. If it is
selectively blocked,
it's open. They're just not allowing the U.S., Israel, or anybody that's associated with our countries who are their enemies to ship through. So, and the crazy thing is, Trump just lifted the embargo on Russia.
Right. We talked about that last week.
And Putin's like, cool, still not going to sell Europe oil. So good luck. I mean, I think we will finally be put in our place. It's crazy that I'm like rooting against. I think the US has been the big bullies, and it's benefited everybody in the US and anybody that's been surrounded, and everybody's sucking off the teat, right? But it's not right for the entire world, and it's been horrible. I think this is going to create a tremendous amount of hardship, but I think in 2, 3, 4 years, the world is going to be a much more stable and beautiful and prosperous place. I think it's going to happen. It's going to be a huge reset, but it's going to be a bitch to get to the other side, but it's going to be great.
Well, the sad thing is I believe that Trump does not necessarily want wars. I believe that. I think the big mistake was because every president for the last 6 or 7 have said, oh, Iran can't have nuclear weapons. He continued to espouse that, and now he feels compelled to act. So I think he was caught in a trap.
Nah, this is all bullshit. There's something that's driving it. It's not that. It just isn't. That is the scapegoat.
It is Israel. Do you think it's Israel?
I mean, first of all, I don't like saying it's a country. I don't think it's a single country. I don't think that, right? Okay. I don't know who it is, but I'm not going to say it's Israel. I'm not going to say it's the US. I'm not going to say it's Great Britain. I'm not going to say it's the UK, whatever, or China. I don't think it's
the people behind it.
I don't know who it is, but let's look at
and it's the military-industrial complex. It's all the people who are making billions of dollars off these types of actions. And one thing that I just heard that was interesting, and I don't know if you saw, and I don't recall where I saw it, was that it appeared that there was going to be a settlement between Russia and Ukraine, and after the United Kingdom went there to visit, it was off the table.
This was like 3-4 years ago.
No. This is recently.
Oh, you have to pull. You have to pull.
Yeah,
I missed that.
I mean, it is right now, but I'll send it to you.
All right, and then I don't know if you saw CNN, which CNN has been overtaken by, some new owners. Let's just put it that way. But I will share my screen here. I don't know if you saw Trump's. This is just so funny to me. Let me know when you can hear it. Here it goes.
Our numbers that just jump off the screen at you, and this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the.
When was this?
This was like today. I mean, today.
Really?
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm just like, what is even going on right now? This is real. This is not fake. This is real. That they would even put that out. Now, here we go. Let's watch this.
Say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now. What would it be?
You are a worthless pile of shit.
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
Let's take a listen to one more.
And then I don't, do you know about the whole Joe Kent thing?
No.
Okay. So this is all over. I mean,
you got the guy that resigned.
Yeah. Did you see his? You saw his letter?
Yes.
I mean, I'll pull it up, but this
No,
is,
I saw it.
I'm not pulling, I mean, I'm pulling it up for the people that are watching. Okay.
All three of them.
Did you actually read this letter?
I read portions of it. I didn't read the whole
How
thing.
do you read portions of it? It's 3 paragraphs. It's tiny. It takes you 2
Yeah,
seconds.
I did read the whole thing. I just don't
I
remember.
cannot, in good conscience, support
Yeah,
the
I-
ongoing war. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it's clear that we started due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. So he goes through all of this stuff, and it's and then everybody jumps on Tulsi Gabbard, which I don't know if you saw that. Okay, so I know I posted on a bunch of people's stuff because it just made no sense to me, and I'll show you. Let's see. Yeah, so like everybody is ragging. Tulsi warned us about this. Then she took a job for him. Then she let power go to her head and she got sucked into a cult. Only the strong. Now, this is Tulsi's after Joe Kent stepped down, she released a statement. Okay.
No.
Oh, this is now this is January. Yeah. I gotta get the one. She cave. Let's see. No, these are all. This is me responding to. Okay, here it is. Okay. Donald Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American people to be our president and commander in chief. As our commander in chief, he is responsible for determining what is and is not an imminent threat.
I saw that. Yes.
And whether or not to take action he deems necessary to protect the safety and security of our troops, the American people, and our country. The Office of Director of National Intelligence is responsible for helping coordinate and integrate all intelligence to provide the president and commander-in-chief with the best information available to inform his decisions. After carefully reviewing all the information before him, President Trump concluded that the terrorist Islamist regime in Iran posed an imminent threat, and he took action based on that conclusion, right?
Right.
And everybody's like, she's a traitor. What she didn't put in here, what do you think about this? Let me ask that.
Well, I think basically what she's saying is the president makes the call.
Mm-hmm. And my whole thing is, if she agreed with him,
she didn't say it.
She would have said it, right?
So yeah,
and then this was from today. Let's see. I know she had, but yeah, today you got to watch the bookmarks. You have to watch the hearing as well.
Iran's nuclear enrichment program.
This just happened today.
So the assessment of the intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes.
Yes.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
Yes.
The White House stated on March 1st of this year that this war was launched and was, quote, a military campaign to eliminate the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, end quote. That's a statement from the White House. Quote, the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was an imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False. This is the worldwide threats hearing where you present
to So once again, she's dodging.
Right.
If she agreed with it, she would say yes.
Well, as part of an administration, you have to support that CEO's decision. That's what she's doing.
Well,
So
agreed. But
I mean, so she could resign as well and say, you know,
Yeah.
but I don't know that resigning makes it better.
that's what I've been saying, like on X, right? So everybody's going after, a lot of people are going after Tulsi. She hasn't once said that she agreed with it. Any of this stuff, right? I think JD Vance, I think Tulsi are completely against it. I think that they have actually, and it's been stated that they recommended not to, right?
Yeah.
And I think so. I was having this discussion with one of my buddies, Miguel. If she were to step down, okay, who takes her position? Now
Right.
you don't even have somebody saying, "Hey, we're suggesting not to." Shit
Right.
could be 10 times worse. So
I agree. That's why I don't think stepping down.
it's hard.
Yeah.
She's stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? It's like,
I would not step down. I would continue to lobby what I believe is in the best interest. But the bottom line is you can't, as part of an administration, say, well, I told him I thought it was wrong. You can't do that.
yeah, of course. She could just
So-
resign. I agree.
But I
And-
don't think resigning helps. I don't.
No,
I really
and I agree with that as well. Like, I
you
think,
agree with me?
yeah.
Holy crap. Well, let me make a note of that.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I mean, because you make sense, so of course I'm going to agree with you when you actually make sense.
Sometimes I do, yeah.
All right. So do you want to watch some of these? Do you want to watch the game theory one first, the end of it?
No, I would rather look at the Kalkina one, the Promethean,
Okay.
because I think that we can run it and then comment on sections of it.
Okay.
Now,
It'll be
here's
interesting to
something
see
else you didn't see.
It'll be interesting to see what we agree with is accurate and what we agree with is not, or disagree with.
Yeah, you can see it, right? And you can hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming, especially if you've been imbibing the Israel runs Trump Kool-Aid. Yesterday, Axios carried this headline: Scoop. U.S. asks Israel to halt strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure. Axios reporter Barack.
Now, they just took out Iran's energy infrastructure, a big one today, right?
Well, hold on. Are you talking about the oil fields and the pipelines and the storage, or are you talking about generating plants that generate electricity for the country?
No, I'm
Two
talking. I'm talking about the island, not the one that they bombed. The other, I forget the name of it, but there was just I know there was. It's all online that they bombed a massive.
Right, but what they bombed, what I saw on that with the island, was they bombed things. They didn't bomb the ships that were sitting there. They didn't bomb the pipelines. They didn't bomb the storage tanks.
Whatever they bombed was enough for Iran today to just start. I think Saudi Arabia shit just like 3 hours ago just got pummeled. So they're just going to town.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So after they took out the couple of Iranian military leaders and then did this, and now the U.S. is sending B-52s over to they just took off from the UK. If you saw that today.
No, I didn't. So
shit's going down like crazy. I'm glad I'm going to Ecuador on Friday. I'll just say that. I might just stay there for a while. But we took out we bombed something in Ecuador like 2 weeks ago. Some drug cartel. Like, what is going on?
So this isn't the one that I sent you.
No.
You need to go to the one I sent you.
Okay, let me go to that one. Let's see.
Your,
Yeah, because this one's only a minute long.
Yeah, what I sent you is a lot different than that.
Where did you send it? This
I
one right here?
texted it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll watch this other one for a little bit while I pull that one up. So,
Yeah, Epstein. Yeah, that was a good one.
And the first thing you need to understand, which is
so just for everybody, if you haven't seen this guy, I mean,
he's good.
I think he's going to be dead in 2 weeks. Let's just put it that way. He gives no fucks and he just goes hard. And so he's a professor, I think, in China, right?
I don't know where he's a professor.
Yeah, I think he's a professor in China. Oh, yours was sent to me on Facebook. Okay, it's a Facebook. Well, you sent it to me and it is on Facebook. But anyways, I'll send it to myself and we'll watch it. But now this guy here, we'll get down to, he's explaining everything that he does is based on game theory.
Right.
And he's predicted so many elections and this guy is blowing up like crazy. But I'm going to try to get to the part where
you see the bottom, the original thing, the empire at the bottom there circled in purple.
Yeah.
That's where he says that the United States is the empire.
100%. The empire is the strongest military. Where that the U.S. military is the one that upholds this entire thing, right? Okay, so yeah, I agree with that. But now, here we go.
My point is that it's really Britain.
Yeah, I mean, they're the finance bros. They're the ones that have controlled the money. When you control the money, you control the energy. And when you control the energy, you can do what you want with it. You can make the military, the empire, be the strongest, right? So money is just energy. And when you control it, you do what you want with whoever you want, because most people are controlled by money, which is a denomination of energy. And we print it at will. And we're the ones that are the petrodollar. And so anyways, let's watch some of this.
Because once the global economy is destroyed, this entire edifice collapses. Okay? And what will happen after this war? Well, a new world will emerge where there are different spheres of influence. Okay? But we'll discuss this later on. But I first introduce to you the big structure of what's going on. Okay? All right.
I love it when
so now what I want to do is I want to go more into the structure of this world. Okay? This. What I want to show you is that Jeffrey Epstein is one of the operators of the system. He works for the Rothschilds, as well as secret societies, as well as venture capital, and he is embedded in science, crime, and intelligence, okay? And again, the evidence is something called the Epstein Files. All right, so let's look at the Epstein Files. Okay, so this is Jeffrey Epstein, and this is Donald Trump. All right. Jeffrey Epstein died in 2019 in a federal prison, and he was being charged with many crimes, and the FBI ran an investigation into him. And just recently, the United States, called the Department of Justice, the DOJ, on their website.
Sorry. So, you know, when he starts showing all the Epstein files and all the things in it, did you watch all this?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Did you know about all that?
How Epstein tied into it all? No.
Like, I'm talking about the granular things that are in the FBI files, like the things that were written that came out in the Epstein release. Did you know about it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't know about any of it.
I went through the 3 million pages.
It was blowing my mind. Like,
oh yeah,
like the actual emails that are from it that are like legit emails.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, all right.
Website, they released about 3 million documents pertaining to the Epstein investigation. And a lot of these are emails. And what you discover is that he knows everyone who's powerful in the world. So for the longest time, it was believed that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent, okay? And his job was to lure powerful Americans such as Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, to his island called Epstein Island, where he would film them engage in compromising activities. And then he would blackmail them, okay? And that was, for the longest time, what people understood to be Jeffrey Epstein's role. And then, but then when you look at the emails, what you recognize is that, no, actually, that's what he did for fun. Actually, he made most of his money in arms trafficking and in money laundering. Also, Bill Gates wasn't going to Epstein Island to give Jeffrey Epstein money. Jeffrey Epstein, he went to ask for money. Think about this, okay? Bill Gates, at once, before the wealthiest man in the world, he was begging Jeff Epstein for money. Think about that.
And he's got like
all right,
all the receipts,
so
all the evidence,
let us
stuff, which is crazy.
Look at who he is. Okay, this is Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, as you know, is one of the wealthiest men in America. And Peter Thiel and Jeffrey Epstein are arranging a time to meet. Again, it's not Jeffrey Epstein is seeking these guys out, they're seeking him out, okay? Elon Musk, the wealthiest man in the world, he's actually trying to arrange an appointment with Jeffrey Epstein. All right, why? Because Jeffrey Epstein says, I represent the Rothschilds. All right? Your money is fake. Your money is stock market money. Your money is an illusion. I represent real money, real power, real wealth. Okay? All right? The Rothschilds. All right. So Jeffrey Epstein is very close with the Rothschild family. Why? Well, this is Irena de Rothschild, one of the members of the Rothschild family, okay? And in December 2018, okay, this is a year before he dies, all right? Jeffrey Epstein sends Irena de Rothschild an email saying, hey, let me tell you something really funny. Harvard is saying that when Hitler was poor, he lived in a home, a charity home, that was financed by 3 wealthy families who are Jewish. And who are these 3 wealthy families? They're the Rothschilds, right? Then there are the Epsteins, me, and the Gutmans. So these 3 families, Rothschilds, Epsteins, and Gutmans, go way back centuries. All right? So Epstein is a member of one of the most powerful families in the world.
Epstein's still alive.
All right? Now, Irena de Rothschild responds and...
Yes, Father?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you'd want to put the link so people can see this, as opposed to sitting here and doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we both think that he does a pretty good job with this.
Yeah, agreed. I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link to it. But yeah,
I think that's the way to go.
And I'll just say this. If you're new to this, when you're first watching it, the beginning, like, you know, because it takes like 30 minutes of the beginning of this video, which we skipped over, he's going into is like the whole setup of everything. And you're just thinking, dude's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? Most people would think that until it gets to this part where he just starts showing like evidence after evidence. But this guy, like all of his videos, you could tell he's just obsessed with this stuff. He's extremely smart. He, you know,
I don't believe he's in China. Why would he be speaking English to Chinese students?
Because
probably some here. I don't know where he is.
No, he's a professor. I looked him up. He's a professor in China. And
he is.
Yeah, a lot of those classes they always teach in English.
Well, here's one of the things that I thought was interesting here. He talks about indoctrination because that's what it all is. And he talks about education, media, and culture are and that band that you showed those three things.
Right, right, right.
If you look at that, that's the left agenda.
Yeah.
And he talks about that.
Listen, I agree. Everything you're saying, spot on. I don't think it's right to say, here's the issue with you, and I'm sorry.
Be sorry.
You just got to get out of the left and right bullshit. Just get out of it.
So it's the liberal. I mean, look.
Just stop with the liberal stuff too, because you have good and you have bad. That's it. Hold on. You have people that are doing things to manipulate others to better themselves. Okay. You have people that are idiots that are doing things that they think are good.
Okay. So let's talk about so those three things are what creates values and norms. That's what he spoke about.
Yeah.
That's what he spoke about, that those three things, education, media, and culture. And culture is shown pretty much through what Hollywood does. So my question to you is, those three things espouse what type of changes to our culture? So they're creating a new culture is what they're doing.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Yeah.
They are.
Thank you. Who is that group?
The educators.
Okay, but
that indoctrinate students.
Okay.
The media that sells a certain
side or another. But here's the thing.
Well, let me ask you this. The media, what is 90% of the media? And I know you don't want to talk right or left, but realistically,
you're missing the underlying issue. There will always be liberal thinking people. There's always going to be conservative people. The difference is get out of your head, because here's the thing. Jenny, okay, cousin Jenny, okay, she's liberal as fuck, and Aunt Lucille is as well, and many other people. I mean, some of my best friends are, okay? Cool, but they're not doing it. Like, they may not know, and I'm not trying to...
Anthony, that's the point. That's the point that he's making. You don't understand that. He's making the point that these three things are indoctrinating and creating consciousness. That's what he's talking about.
I hear what you're saying.
No, you're hearing what he's saying. I'm only repeating what he's saying.
Okay. I'm going to explain to you. There is this other level that, okay, we could sit here and bicker about liberal propaganda, conservative propaganda. This is all, it just creates tension. Okay, but what I'm talking about is who are the people that are funding because here's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
The people that are funding these things, they can't. The people that are funding this
education, media,
whatever it is, okay?
Functions. Yes.
They are funding something to people, and you are blaming the people that they're funding, which I don't disagree, okay? But they are funding these people, but these people are doing it because they truly feel this way, because they've learned. Hold on.
They've been indoctrinated. Now, Anthony, wait, did you watch this from the beginning where he says they're in a cave?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the That's the Plato's, or yeah. So
Yes.
what I'm saying is this: you gotta stop blaming.
I'm not
understand.
blaming Lucille or Jen.
But
I'm not.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you cannot get rid of this middle piece that is, and this is what our founders tried to defend against. Yes, is exactly this. Okay. So what most people do is black, white, liberal, conservative, because these people, everybody's going to learn or be indoctrinated or absorb information. I mean, I'm libertarian, which is right, a constitutionalist, and you're conservative, but like we still disagree like crazy, right? What I'm saying is they're always going to they're going to put people against each other.
Discontent.
And that's always going to happen. What has to happen is you have to cut the head off of what's controlling, right? And then you have to establish a system like the founders did that says, hey, listen, you could believe that and you could believe that. You know what? But these controllers up here, hold on. This is important. Stop. Listen to what I'm saying. The controllers up here are not going to take away your right of a freedom of expression, right? Free speech, or your right to keep and bear arms, or these things that ensures that the people that are controlling and sowing dissent within the populace can't speak out against it. That's all that is needed.
Right. And as he said, and if you do, the people that have been indoctrinated and controlled are the ones, they'll kill you.
Well,
he said that. Now hold on a minute. So let's get to the reality of what we see happening in our country. Okay? You're astute enough to know what's happening in education. What kind of indoctrination is going on?
Dad,
what type of indoctrination is what?
Dad, what
You fail to accept that there is a philosophical.
Okay, listen, I'm agreeing with you. You're not. You're arguing a separate point. That's I don't know.
So let's stop arguing about what we agree with.
No. But let's just say I'm agreeing with you. The education system, the
media,
it's very liberal leaning. A lot of money is put behind it to bring forward and push a specific type of mindset, which I think is an extremely weak mindset. I'm agreeing with you. Okay. So let's get off of that. What I'm saying is how
the people behind them.
How do you fix that? You're not going to fix it by you're not going to fix it by trying to change all of the schooling to be a different way of schooling.
The only way you can fix it is by having balanced media, balanced education that teaches you how to think, doesn't indoctrinate you on what to think. And that's what this professor says. He says it. He says that education doesn't teach you how to think. It's telling you how you should think. But Dad, you won't agree with that.
No, I agree with that.
So you won't know how to fix it. You tell me how we fix it.
I know how to fix it. And it's different than what you're saying. I know how to fix it.
Okay, how?
The founders knew how to fix it.
Tell me how to fix it.
Education will always be there. There will always be people that try to push an agenda one way or another. And there are people that will have money to push agendas. What has to happen, which the founders rightly pushed this, is that governments and money from governments shall never be pushed towards one agenda or another. You cannot use government funds to push education on the federal level. And that's what's going on. That's what has happened. That's why we are where we are. So what ends up happening is these people that are smarter, they're the top 0.001%, and they're manipulators. They know, yeah, we can just fund this shit. And we're going to pass laws to make sure that these universities, and education system and the federal Department of Education is pushing this. And
So how do you stop it?
and I'm telling you, and us as Americans, it sounds good. Education is good. So what do? We say, you're a bad person if you don't vote and if you don't think that federal government funds should go towards education. You don't like education? And that's the issue. You have a bunch of weak ass motherfuckers in this country that don't stand up to it and say, no, the federal government's job is not to fund education. So what that does is it strips that. The federal government has no say. So then you don't have one point that the manipulators can infiltrate, pass laws, and then push an agenda. So people need to understand that freedom and the First Amendment is not, it's there to protect free speech, and education on the federal level should never be funded.
Anthony, let me just tell you this. The federal government does not fund education. Education is funded by local governments, either on the city.
You are wrong. You're wrong. And you're an educator, and you've been an educator forever. So go look it up.
Percent of Palm Beach County's funding, I'm talking about local education. Do you know what percent of the budget comes from the federal government?
You want to know? You want to know how I'm going to checkmate you right here.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and say 1%.
Okay, that's close.
Okay. And then I'm going to checkmate you, even though I predicted, and I just threw that out there because it doesn't matter to me. Because you know what the federal government does? They say, okay, this Department of Education, this is what you need to be doing in Florida. Oh, Florida, you don't want to do these things? Cool. How much money does Florida get from the federal government for many things?
Anthony, the majority, and the federal government does use that, well, we're not going to fund you if you don't do this. But that's mostly regarding special education.
No.
Those type of, okay, okay.
No,
Sorry.
you're missing what I'm saying.
No, you're missing the point. Local community controls education.
I'm
Now,
not.
at the higher,
You're missing.
at
You're missing.
universities.
You're missing my point.
Okay.
I'm not talking about education. That's what you're missing.
I thought we were talking about education.
Right, but you're not taking.
About funding and how the government, federal government funds education. That's what you were talking about, Anthony.
No, I get it. Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I know I'm an asshole, but please, I already said it's 1%. You agreed that it's about that. So if it's 1%, then it's not that much leverage for the federal government, and they don't have too much say, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I get that. My point is this: the states depend on the federal government, not for just education. It's a very small amount, but every state is sucking off of the federal government's teat for so many programs that if they do not push certain things, and that can be indoctrination of education on the university level or at the local level, then they pull this funding and that funding, and they start pulling funding from the states.
That's not how it works.
Okay.
And you're right. I am an educator. I've been on school board. I know a little bit about this. Now, I will say this, that at the higher levels of education, post-secondary, there's a lot more leverage, because they give them millions and millions of dollars in grants for specific things. But the reality is there are other groups that fund education at the secondary, at the post-secondary level. That's where a lot of the big stuff happens. At the elementary and secondary schools, elementary, middle, and high school, the federal government really does not have a lot of say on curriculum. They do not, period. We have the state that has certain goals and objectives with regards to education. But it's mostly at the state level, state and local.
Right. And they control mainly the universities.
Yes. And then teachers come out and they, at the university, have become more indoctrinated. And now they're teachers at the elementary, middle, and second and high schools. So that's how it works more than what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess.
But the bottom line is, Anthony, you can't disagree that educators for the most part are liberal.
Of course.
You can't disagree that media for the most part is liberal. You can't disagree that Hollywood and the arts primarily are liberal. Those are the three things that he mentioned that creates this consciousness.
Right. But Dad, you will never, this is a yin and a yang to civilization. You have people that are born very left, creative, emotional minded, and you have others that are created very logic, rational, non-emotional minded.
That's a great brain, I understand.
But what I'm saying is we're not going to get rid of that.
No, I understand that, but the difference being is now compared to how it was when I was growing up. There was not the big divide. There was not what you see now. When I was growing up, you knew that in the Congress, in the federal government, that Democratic and Republican legislators got along with each other. They put each other. That doesn't happen anymore because of the indoctrination that's going on, because the divide has been made so wide that there's so much hate because of that. And people can't get over that. People are sick.
Right. And I'm telling you,
they can't look at things objectively.
What has happened over the years is that the federal government and all these social programs make a dumb society, a weak, dumb society.
I agree. There are way too many federal programs. We need to cut 90% of them out. But there's nobody that has the guts to do it. You saw what happened when Dodge came in. They're firebombing Tesla stores. They're shooting bullets. They're busting cars up.
But
nobody wants them to cut anything.
Yeah. So we have been infiltrated with easy, funny money. Okay. And it has made a very dumb, fat, lethargic, lazy society. Even though we're the most prosperous, the reason why we're the most prosperous is because we print money at will, and the entire world has to use our currency for liquidity for major resources. Okay. That's the reason why.
That's a big part of it. But when you look at the Industrial Revolution, what happened in the United States, and the and the ability to produce and sell things and have great products.
Hold on. We're talking about two different times in our history. During the Industrial Revolution,
It's the basis of how we grew to be powerful. Then it became information and money flow.
so and we were infiltrated and controlled. You know, there's that saying, and this is what happened. You know, the revolution happened. We fled from Europe, right? And then those individuals were strong, like strong men create good times. Okay, good times create
weak men.
Weak men.
Yes.
Weak men create hard
Bad
times.
Right.
Hard times create strong men. We are in the part where we are weak men, and it's creating hard times because we have a dumbed down society that has been fed Twinkies and easy, funny money, and they just sit there and watch Netflix, and they don't know what the hell is going on in the real world because they're just making their easy money that's propped up by our dollar and by our military might. That is coming to an end, and it'll be great for the world. It will not be great for the U.S. short term. Long term, it's going to be a beautiful thing for the entire world and for the U.S. citizens. We'll be happier off. We will be slim. We will be efficient. We'll be productive. There won't be all these social programs because it won't be able to happen. We have to go back to the gold standard.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right that we'll get rid of a lot of those social programs, because I think that has been the decline, as opposed to families helping families, churches and religious groups helping people that need it. So I think there's a lot to be said. And with that,
wait, hold on. This is I created an infograph while we were talking, and I asked it, tell me about the federal government involvement at the state level for education. So you don't have to follow our standards, but if you don't, that money disappears. The feds technically mandate curriculum that would be too obvious. Instead, they dangle billions in front of states. This is amazing. This is literally.
Anthony, I am telling you, look, I was on committees when I was a teacher, when I was an assistant principal, when I was a principal on curriculum. I helped write curriculum.
Look, federal funding share, K through 12, 8%. Regulatory burden, 90%. Compliance requirements imposed on schools.
Yes, listen to me. That's what I was saying about special ed. In other words, there are certain laws in special ed that we have to follow. If we don't follow it, we don't get the special ed money. However, the important part is, for every $10 they give us, it costs $100 to implement.
Exactly.
That's why a lot of schools, whether they be charter schools or religious schools, don't take federal money, because it costs so much more to do what they mandate than what we get.
Here you go. 1979, Department of Education. And you can attest to this. You used to love being a principal and an educator. Mom did as well. And then it started declining really fast at some time. It was probably right around 2001. It started to decline. No Child Left Behind. Federal testing mandates explode. Teachers begin teaching to test instead of teaching to think, because the federal government started to control. Race to the top.
Right. But what I am saying is, they still did not control the curriculum. They held the carrot and they had the stick. And I'll tell you what, my position always was, tell them we don't want their money.
Right, but that's not.
That was my position. Don't take it. We don't need their money, because so what ends up happening is you're spending so much money to meet. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. You're spending $10 or you're spending $100 to get 10.
Right, agreed. That's how everything works. But you still kind of sidestepped my point that I've been trying to make, which is, the small control changes everything. And this will end on this. Because I just wrote it. Why the founders left education out. They had just fought a war against centralized government that controlled what people learned, read, and were allowed to think. The British Crown used licensing laws to control printing presses. Controlling information is controlling people. Whoever controls what children learn controls the future of the country. They deliberately kept the power close to home.
That's why the president was moving to get rid of the Department of Education.
Agreed.
I have been saying that for years.
But here's the thing. Trump, I think what he ran on is completely different than what's going on. I mean, it's 180 degrees different.
It is for sure in the military actions.
I agree with that. Doge that we just spoke about, they came in hot. Trump was all about that. That shit was shipped real quick.
Wait, but why?
That's
because the problem is Congress will not vote to do what needs to be done. So yeah, Doge can do all that. They can bring all these things forward.
Agreed.
But you know what happened trying to get USAID, which was a horrendous department. And it was like you shot everybody's firstborn child.
It starts to expose the corruption big time.
Yes.
Everybody's sucking on the teat of that federal.
It's Congress that's the biggest problem. That is why we need freaking term limits. That's why I joined the Convention of States, because I'm trying to push that.
Here's the thing. That shit does not solve the problem. I'll tell you what solves the problem. An educated populace is the only thing that solves. Because listen,
how do you educate?
By doing the best thing that happened, and this is the reason why I have a positive outlook on the world. I still think shit's being controlled, but there's more freedom of information now than ever. Okay. And shit's about to topple. So it's a good thing because freedom of information is out there and it's not going away. And there's so many different sources that people, and so you can't contain it anymore.
And and probably educators, my fellow educators will be upset about this, but a lot of people think homeschooling is bad. I think homeschooling is good.
It's great.
Because then you're learning what the norms of your family are.
Right. But agree with you 1,000%. Now,
the problem is you almost have to dismantle the educational system. So that's why I was so in favor of getting rid, number one, of the federal government out of education. Number two, vouchers. So parents can take that voucher and put their child in a school of their liking.
Right. But here's the thing. Everything that you're saying, all you need to do, this is all socio-engineering. All you have to do is say the federal government doesn't have the right. Listen, just hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
Okay. Strip the centralized government from being able to dictate. The states can figure it out. What you're trying to do is, I'm not disagreeing with.
The state is the one that gives the vouchers, not the federal government.
I get it.
In Florida, you can get a voucher if you want to go to St. Anthony's School. You can take that voucher and give it to the school.
I don't disagree with your method. You are talking about a method that you think works best. I'm talking about a system. The system allows for freedom for other people that have other methods that may be better than yours, maybe worse, to just try and to succeed or fail. And other people, that's a system.
Give me an example. Give me an example.
Example is this.
In education.
As long as the federal government gets out, Okay.
We've already agreed to that. So
Okay.
tell me how it works now.
Now it's left up to the states. Now, and
that's what I'm saying. I agree with the states.
right. And you're going into the minutia of how people should do it. My thing is this. I don't care because I don't have a magic ball of what's the best. And you know what? Right. Things change all the time. So my point is this, and this is how
choice is important. You need to give parents choice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, agreed. This is how I think about everything in the country and the world. At the end of the day, it's much better to have more choices. So states have the choices. The states should say, you know what? We're going to give the choices to the county. The counties will say, you know what? We're going to give the choices to the city. And the cities say, you know what? We're going to do it to the township or whatever. The more that the power is, the more choices, the better off. And the closer it is to the people, the better off. There's people learn from people.
And all I am saying is that the lowest denominator is the family. So instead of, so listen to me, instead of funding school districts, you should give people, if you have one child, you get X amount of dollars. If you get two children, you get 2X amount of dollars.
Who's you?
Anthony, when you have 2 children,
no,
you're going to get money. You can either go to a public school, a private school, teach them at home.
I get it.
I'm saying
I'm asking you one simple question. Who is funding that money? Where is that money coming from?
In Florida.
Okay, so you're saying from the state?
Yes.
Okay. And it comes directly from the state or it comes from the county?
No, the state sends the money to the county.
And what my point is this, the state is better off charging less tax dollars and leaving it up to the counties.
And my point is you would save more money if you just said the average money spent per child in Florida is X amount of dollars. That's our budget. We're going to divide it amongst the children. And listen, I can't believe that you don't think if they're going to fund education, where should they fund it? At the county level, the town level, or the person level?
Right. So this is like a philosophical thing that we're missing on the discussion level. Listen, the best
talking about the reality, how you actually implement it. And I think the best way to implement it is if, in fact, the state under the Constitution is required to provide education.
What Constitution?
The Florida State Constitution.
Okay.
That's one of the requirements.
Okay.
They collect the funds. My position is the best way to fund it, give it directly to the children.
Yeah, to the family.
And then that money, then the family says, oh, I'll go to a county school, or I'll go to a charter school, or I'll go to a private school, or I will teach them myself.
So I 1000% agree with you. Okay. Then people will say, well, if the parents keep, they're not teaching their children. So all that stuff. But listen, at the end of the day,
hold on a second. There would need to be some way to verify that learning is going on.
Right. So now this is what I'm talking about. All the granular minutia details of all the and I just
it may just be what you're going to in other words, if you're traveling, where you're traveling. There's probably got to be, and I haven't spent enough time deciding how it would need to be done. But if you really want to know the truth, I would say just give them the money.
Right. And so my thing is, I agree with you. I just take it multiple steps further, which is I don't like governments taking from people and giving to other people. That is by force. That's redistribution of wealth. And I think that that is a bad practice in general.
So you don't think the state should provide for education?
What I'm saying is this.
No, answer yes or no. That's an easy question, because you're saying you don't think the government should take money and give it to other people. Well, then you don't want the state to fund education.
Yeah, so let me just explain, not a yes or no, my philosophical thought about this, okay? I always think that less government involvement is the best, and you get the highest return. Okay, so if we take the same philosophical premise of big federal government should not have any part of it, it's much better at the state level. Hold on, let me just finish my whole thing, okay? Is better at the state level. It's also my my thinking that if the state does not tax for education, they should delegate that to the county, and the county can tax themselves, okay? Now, you take that one step further, you could go down to the township, right? So what that does is it just creates more freedom and more choices. So I'm taking my philosophical understanding of how governments are much better, smaller, and you get the biggest rate of your return the closer it gets to the home, because realistically, I would rather people not be forced to pay for education for somebody else's child.
So let me just say what happens and why the state does it the way they do. And coming from New Jersey, I'll give you what happened in New Jersey. So what happens, and I don't even need to say New Jersey. Here's the problem with what you're saying. You take a city with poor people.
Yeah.
A majority of poor people.
Yep.
And you take a city that has rich people.
Yep.
Who's going to get a better education? The town that can tax the poor people, or the town that can tax the rich people's homes?
It already happens. It already happens in.
No. But see, that's what Florida.
I'm going to explain to you.
Let me explain to you. Florida's educational funding takes that problem away because they're funded based on the state formula. Now, what happens?
Oh my God, you're getting into so much minutia, and I get what you're saying, Dad. I just philosophically disagree with you. At the end of the day, philosophically, it's not anybody's job to pay for anybody else's child. Do you know why? At the end of the day, if I make money, okay, and my wife has cancer, I should have the ability to pay for her cancer instead of somebody else's child to go to school. People have to take personal responsibility. And the reason why we are in the position we are in is because of the opposite mindset that has been driven down people, which is people get elected because they say they're going to give other people free shit that's going to make their life better. And the less of that, the more people take personal responsibility for their own people, for their own children. They work harder. Their kids see them going to work to pay for them to have a better education, and those kids learn work ethic and are better off for it. So I'm against funding from a government level in many things for that reason. The reason why it reverts back is because it's much easier for somebody to get elected when they say you're a bad human being because you don't want to pay for an underprivileged kid. I think differently, and I say, hey, listen, all you're doing is you're taking from one person to pay for another person instead of that person's parents taking responsibility for the child that they have, actually going to work and trying to provide the best education for their kids. And that person that's working for their child's education, their child is going to learn much more from seeing their parents fucking go to work. And that is going to make that kid 10 times more successful than getting a free education. I will tell you that. And that's how it used to be back in the days. 100%. So with that, you can agree, you can disagree, but that's how it is in real life.
Well, that would work in La La Land. That's just not the way the reality will work. I don't see it working that way because there are too many people that could not afford any kind of basic education for their children. And I happen to believe
The free
that
here's the I'm sorry. The free education.
that's fine. I'll let you ramble now. You can interrupt me. That's fine.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're right.
No, go ahead.
The thought that free education now is so much better. YouTube, okay, is so much better than the education that's ever been government funded. So here's the issue is when you have education being funded, it's easy money. When companies can think about the way to distribute great material for the cheapest price, you get the best education for virtually zero. And that's the way it's going. And it's being solved by technology and by business owners producing amazing education at
why would business owners produce education if they're not getting paid for it?
Because they get paid just like Google and YouTube gets paid from advertisements and stuff like that. But all I'm saying is they have had the incentive to say, how do I distribute these videos to the people at the lowest cost? Because 20 years ago, to distribute a high resolution video for an hour would have cost them $10. Now it costs them fractions of a cent. And that's how it works.
So what you're saying now is that we don't need schools per se. We can get as good an education from online.
No, what I'm saying is,
let's talk about this another time because it's getting late.
Do you dislike me? Do you dislike this?
I love this. I would do this for 10 hours straight, but I don't know that anybody wants to listen to you and me for 10 hours straight.
Okay, just as
I don't know that my lovely wife wants me to be doing this for 10 hours straight. You know that.
Okay, well, I hope that I'm not too harsh or demeaning.
Too harsh on me?
Yeah, demeaning, like that. You think that, okay, as long as that's not, because I don't want, okay, good.
No,
good.
look, we have had great discussions.
Okay.
For many years.
Okay, as long as
this
yeah,
is nothing new.
Okay, as long as I'm not like, you think that I'm demeaning or hurting, like I just don't want it to get there. But I'm very passionate about this stuff, right? So
I like that. I'm very passionate too.
All right,
that's
good.
why you're passionate. You got that from your father.
Right. It's that free education, baby.
Yeah. All right.
All righty. Love you.
Take care. Bye-bye.